It is that overbearing anxiety and the actions because of that overbearing anxiety that make you unattractive. Not your looks, not the rest of your personality, not even the fact that you're maybe like a dungeon gooner and you like playing RPGs.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, guys? I'm back. And guess who's with me? A sleep cat. Oh my God, Eve's back with me. Big life update. In fact, dude, I have so much to tell you guys that I literally cannot tell you guys, so I'm not gonna tell you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip the whole vague life update thing and just let you guys know that I'm good. I came out of kind of like a really busy period, a really stressful period, and then kind of a funk. I think when we last talked, I was telling you guys that I was gonna have a little bit of an ugly week and get some laser done on my face, and I kind of thought, okay, that's gonna be the last thing that's gonna take me away from my regular content creation vibe thing. And then the shit hit the fan. I got really busy. We had to travel for Hunter's work, and there's gonna be a lot more of that coming. And it's so funny because the last time I talked to you, I think I told you guys that I'm gonna go back to my passion of doing daily vlogging or trying to figure out what it is that I like to do and then vlog that, kind of like modding the Jeep and stuff like that. And I did that. I have 3 videos that I still need to compile, put in order on the timeline, make proxies for, and then send to my editor because ain't nobody got time to fucking edit a daily vlog. Though it's the hardest thing to edit, especially aesthetically, a daily vlog. Like you literally have to put everything together and then you have to do like, okay, here's a B-roll part, and then you gotta do nice transitions, and then you gotta do like music and all that stuff. So I just haven't had time to literally import the files, organize them in a way that would make sense to my editor, and then send them off to her. So I actually am sitting my ass on 3 videos because I have to do so much other shit, and because I've been so non-functional with a lot of the shit that's been happening to me. Because I've told you this a million times before if you've been on this channel for a while, but like if shit makes me kind of dysregulated or I don't feel like myself as much, it's really hard for me to do my work. Now that sounds, of course, spoiled, and I'm not like trying to say it in a spoiled way where it's like, oh my God, content creation is so hard. It's more like my job requires me to be normal and feel normal. And like when I don't feel normal, I kind of just want to do manual labor. So what I have been doing in preparation for getting the cats back, oh, I didn't mean to wake her up, but it's so nice. You're gonna see her in the back of my streams soon, and you're gonna see her in the back of my videos again. It's so exciting. I almost want to like fully resurrect Friday Night Mail. So she's like getting into the boxes, and oh, she's just the cutest thing ever. Here, let me give you a view. We got the crazy zoom lens too, so this like works out great. There we go. She's upside down. Look at this. Look at this kitty. Look at this kitty. Look at pretty kitty. Okay, I'm gonna look at her face. Hold on, I'm gonna walk by. Okay. You are so pretty, baby. I love you so much. She's very happy to be home, as you can see. That or she's dead and dying. Can't tell. Look how pretty she is. You're so pretty. Oh, I love her so much. I'm so happy she's home, guys. So yeah, anyway. So with my not feeling myself time and super busy time, anytime I did have time to work that was superfluous time to work, something for a passion project or something for YouTube, which has kind of become a passion project of late, I took that time to do what I felt like I could do best, which was manual labor, which was clean the entire house. So in order to get ready for her to come into the house, we had to buy a bunch of stuff to cat-proof the house. For instance, we have a bunch of avocado plants, as you guys might know. So upstairs, we actually had to get like an indoor greenhouse to make sure that she wouldn't get to them, because apparently every single part of the avocado plant and tree and fruit, not that ours is making fruit yet, we got a few years to go for that, but all of that stuff is toxic to cats. I had to get different cleaning agents for the house, and I'm like a super crazy cat mom, so I'm not testing anything. Like I actually had to go through a lot of my skincare. Now I don't use any mineral sunscreen or SA acid or sexual assault acid, salicylic acid. I guess that was redundant, salicylic acid, you know what I mean? But all that stuff, I had to get rid of my glycolic acid. I keep locked away now. We just had to redo everything, and I also cleaned out the storage room so that I could put a bunch of the stuff from my makeup room into that room and make my makeup room like a cat room, because we did also get widows. So we have Eve and Widow is feral and she's still adjusting, but Eve has very much become a part of the household. And you know what's amazing? I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit longer to update you guys. This video will have a point and a theme, but the coolest part is that Hunter is like the cat whisperer. Like, they love him. Like, they are laying all over him. I'll put things on the screen right here so you guys can see some of our adventures in the past 2 weeks since they've been here, but it has been amazing. And he's even making strides with Widow, because Widow is afraid of everyone, but he's like feeding her little treats and she's like coming closer to him and he's like doing everything you need to do to befriend a feral cat. It's super cool. And on top of that, some of the stress that I can share with you is the day before we got Widow into the house, I got a call from the vet because we had taken them to the vet for their yearly checkup that Widow has hyperthyroidism and will need medication twice a day for the rest of her life. So we had to figure out what to do when we travel. Thank God for Brittany. And that means that we have to acclimate her fast enough to start getting her that medication. So we had to figure out how to do it. And it's been a lot, but I'm back and I actually feel the most myself that I've felt in quite a while. It's been kind of like an up and down roller coaster. But I think at one point I just kind of decided that I'm gonna feel my feelings and remember who the fuck Tara Babcock is. So we're here now. Anyway, today's topic is something that I thought of this morning because I was chatting on my spicy site and I was talking to a guy who's super sweet. Hopefully he doesn't feel called out or hated upon in this video. It's just kind of an example, but I wanted to talk about the biggest downfall of the nice guy, or the biggest downfall of the guy who's the stereotypical, like, I've never had a girlfriend, or I can't keep a girlfriend, or I feel like I'm too ugly for girls. I always, even without knowing the guy, I'm like, it has nothing to do with how ugly you are. I mean, maybe that hurts you, but then the fix is pretty easy. It's just learning that all you have to do is groom yourself and make yourself a little bit more attractive version of yourself. You don't have to completely change yourself. You don't have to get plastic surgery. You don't have to get this fucking Chad chin or anything like that. You just literally have to groom and clean yourself and then maybe make one or two little tweaks to bring out your already God-given features. But the harder thing, I think, is often the demeanor and the personality and the small little things that turn off women that men do, men that are in these predicaments. And I think one of the biggest things is always the lack of confidence and the anxiousness and acting on those feelings. So I know it's a very unmanly feeling to feel anxious or to feel insecure, or to not feel like you're good enough or whatever, or to be like worried about stuff. That might feel like you shouldn't even feel that way in the first place, but it's not that you shouldn't feel that way. It's that you shouldn't use that feeling to impart actions upon the other person that makes them feel uncomfortable. So let me give you an example. So right after this guy, super sweet, he gave me one of the sweetest messages I've gotten on any site in a long time, and it was on my spicy site, go figure. I really appreciate him existing, and I really appreciate how sweet his message was, but like right after telling me that he's sad that he's never had a girlfriend before, he then proceeded to double text me, and let's be honest, I do my own messages, so like I'm not always on every day, and especially not every hour. So the fact that he barely gave it less than 24 hours to double text me and be like, I hope I wasn't too much. I'm so sorry if I shared too much. This is always the same archetype I see in these guys. And I've seen a lot of these guys. Guys gravitate towards me because I'm so open, because I'm so honest, and because I'm not judgy. And they tell me their problems, and often they're nice guy problems. And one of the most common behaviors I see in men that I'm consistently telling them to stop doing is stop apologizing unless someone says that you did something wrong. Now, obviously, there's nuance here. If you're like a super overconfident, narcissistic jackass, then maybe you should start saying sorry a little bit more. This is the whole premise behind a video that I'm going to do soon, which is like you can find a quote and an opposite quote for that quote for every situation. So it's like, hey, you should just be yourself, or hey, you should change yourself. You can find quotes for either of those, but we're talking specifically to the nice guy who doesn't have the confidence, who maybe has anxious attachment, and who doesn't feel or perceive himself as manly enough, cool enough, hot enough to get a girl. Oftentimes, it is that overbearing anxiety and the actions because of that overbearing anxiety that make you unattractive. Not your looks, not the rest of your personality, not even the fact that you're maybe like a dungeon gooner and you like playing RPGs. Like, It's mostly the way you make other people feel because of your anxiety. So let's talk about how I feel when I get a double text from a guy in less than 24 hours apologizing. First off, I feel like this guy doesn't have confidence. Now, like I've always said before, confidence is 100% key. Please fake it until you make it. So if you're having these feelings of anxiety and you want to be like, oh my God, I want to make sure I didn't say anything too much. I want to make sure I didn't do this. Oh my God, I think apologizing preemptively will be like the best thing to do. I know your brain is feeling that way. Trust me, I have anxious attachment too. I also want to qualify things so that people take things the way I want them to be taken, so that they understand me, because I know, like, when you're kind of an anxious attachment person or someone who overthinks like I am, I can empathize with the idea of feeling like I'm always overbearing, and I get in this like loop where it's like I was overbearing and then I apologize for being overbearing, and then that's overbearing, and then I apologize for that, and I just feel like I'm pushing the person away. So same thing goes with men who have these anxious attachments and anxious feelings, is that you need to just sit with it and not ever apologize unless someone says you're doing something wrong. Be yourself and own it. And that little feigning, at least, of confidence is not going to be pushy to the person. So let's go back to what I was saying before. How did it make me feel when I got that double text? It made me feel like I had to respond in a certain amount of time, which, you know, to a lesser confident person, because I'm confident in this realm, I'm like, bro, I do my own messages, I get hundreds, I'm not going to respond to you like in an hour like the girls with the bots, like chill the fuck out, you know, and I'll just say that. But it does make me feel like this person expects me to be more responsive, and now we're in this feedback loop of me being like, oh no, you're fine, when like he should know he's fine. And if he wasn't fine, like perhaps let's say he said something to me that's too much for me, then I need to be like, look, I'm gonna set a boundary here. What you said to me is too much. And then he can be like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, I'm sorry. And then just move on and find someone else who he's better suited for. It's okay to feel anxious that you may have said something wrong to someone, but it's also okay for you to say something wrong to someone and that just be part of your personality. And if they don't like it, you can move on to someone who will like it. So it's kind of a paradox that when you have this anxiousness and this like desperation to be liked, that shines through and then makes you less likable. Whereas if you're just like kind of owning who you are and being an asshole, this is why nice guys always think that assholes get what they want. Partly because true assholes get girls that are insecure because it plays on their insecurity. Sorry. My boyfriend texting me right next to the mic. I knew it was gonna be like boop, 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 boop while it vibrates, so I moved it. There are assholes who are getting bitches who are insecure because they're truly assholes. But then the other type of asshole is just a guy who doesn't apologize for himself, who is unapologetically himself. And that is always a better way to go. It doesn't mean that you're an asshole. And I know it's gonna feel super uncomfortable to sit in that silence for that like 24 to 48 hours before I respond, but like wait and see at least a week. You know, be like, hey, I'm just following up on this. Hopefully nothing I said rubbed you the wrong way. Like once it's obvious that I'm ignoring you, you know what I mean? Or you could just not say anything and wait for me to respond. And if I never respond, just move on. You don't have to claw people toward you, and you don't have to keep apologizing for nothing. It actually bothers me. It annoys me when a guy will say stuff and then like fucking apologize for it. It's like it turns on the dom in me. No offense to you guys, but it turns on the dom in me. As you guys might know, if you've been following me for long enough, I'm an alpha female, or at least that's what I would call myself. And what I describe that as is a girl who, when she is in the presence of an alpha male, especially her alpha male, will become submissive. But in the presence of beta males, I kind of just want to bully them. I'm like, oh my God, give me your money and get on your hands and knees and show me your tiny dick and let me watch you jerk off 2 fingers. That's how it makes me feel. And obviously you don't want any woman to feel like you're pathetic or like felt bad for. You know, that's not conducive to a romantic relationship or a girl's panties being wet. So fake it until you make it. My biggest advice for stuff like this is to really just look up DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. This is great for anxiety. It's great for anxious attachment and like other kinds of things, like even BPD and stuff by borderline personality disorder. It's great for all of that. And some of the tools that I've been looking up have really been helping me in this really stressful, weird period that I've had previous to this YouTube video, in between like my last one and this one. It's just kind of sitting with the emotion, understanding your body and how it feels, trying to name the emotion, and then letting it pass. Like sitting with it and being like, don't make any rash decisions. Don't make any decisions at all while you're in this weird fight or flight because you're worried about how someone else is taking what you say. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but there's things like the 3-3-3 rule. Look all of this up because this is not a verbatim perfect explanation, but you're supposed to, when you're in this like heightened state of arousal, not the sexy kind, like the anxious kind, you want to like think about 3 things that you see, hear, and not taste, feel. I don't know what the other sense is, but it grounds you to the present, because often when we're anxious, the anxiety comes from worrying about the future. So it's like, did I say something bad that's going to affect me in the future? Is she going to freak out? Is she going to not talk to me anymore? Is she going to pull away? Just let things happen and let people be. Obviously, as an anxiously attached person giving this kind of advice, I know that I'm not fully there yet, but just hearing this kind of stuff puts it in the back of your head. I've actually started to actively watch YouTube videos that I think will help me and not watch so many in a row. So what I do is I open a notepad and then I'm watching a video from someone who's reputable, that I trust, like Dr. K, Dr. Herkonda, Healthy Gamer GG. Oh, one of my favorite pages ever. And there's also that Heidi Priebe chick and one other that I listen to. And when they give you advice as like therapists, obviously not practicing therapists, but like therapeutic advice on the internet that's kind of like wide reaching, it's really nice to like write down what they say, because even though you get that boost of motivation and excitement, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to try this. It kind of goes in one ear and out the other if you don't write it down. So I guess I would say journal. I've never been a big journaler, but I am now making notepads that follow lists that will be helpful later of things that I learned in YouTube videos. So that's kind of like journaling, right? I do want to get into guided journaling, where sometimes I'm feeling something or I'm feeling a certain way. I don't really know what it is or why I'm feeling it. And sometimes I'm like, fuck, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think about what it is. What is the physiological signs of my body? And I literally can't do it. It's like I'm out of touch with that specific emotion. And then maybe journaling would help me there. But I am really trying to get past all of these weird anxiety issues that I sometimes have, because I feel like looking back on my year, it has been one of the toughest years back to back, where I'm just constantly taking weird L's. It's like even today, you know, I got one of my spicy videos taken down. I had no idea why. And this is when I'm like trying to really market research what kind of content to make on there. So it really affects me when a video gets taken down. And then like yesterday, Pokemon's like fake editor took down one of my YouTube videos and copyright struck me. And it's just like little shit like that piling on me when I'm just like, oh, I need to relax. And then I have all these fucking social things, and I have like ex drama and cat drama and all these things. And it's just like, I want to be better suited to get through rougher parts of my life when I feel like, from an outsider perspective, these things aren't that bad. I want to be stronger. I want to be able to be truly stoic, not like just turn off my emotions and let them bury and kill me inside. I want to actually be able to see things from a different perspective. And DBT, and also, what is it called? I have a notepad for this, hold on. Maybe I'll even share this notepad on the screen with you guys, but this is one from a video that I was watching recently, cognitive reframing techniques. So I've been working on this one as well, where you like write down your initial reaction to something and kind of reframe the way your thoughts work. Because the way your thoughts work are patterns. So if my patterning is always to get super anxious and then overreact and then say something to the person that I would take back later, that just becomes a pattern and reinforces in the brain. So this is a way to like cognitively reframe like negative thoughts that I'm feeling, anxious thoughts that I'm feeling, and negative things that I do. And I swear to you guys, this is going to help you nice guys from being less attractive to women, to everyone, because this is what has always been most unattractive about those guys to me, is the abject lack of confidence. It almost feels like I have to do all of their like emotional processing for them. Like I have to dote on them hand and foot and keep reassuring them that I'm not annoyed of them every single time. Or like when people are like, please, I'm so sorry. Can I ask you a question, it's like, oh my God, just ask the fucking question. Just be like a human. That is my frustration on this end. I'm never that bad with my anxiety. Really, I'm not like that. But I can understand their perspective of being like, they look in the mirror and they're like, I'm not a Chad, so it must be why I'm not attractive, because I don't look like a Chad. But really, it's because you're fucking overbearingly pushing your heightened anxious emotions that are unattractive to people, whether you're a man or a woman, but definitely a man, unattractive to people, when you could just have those emotions, feel them, let them wash over you, even share them later on, but not in such a heightened, needy, desperate stage. Nobody, men or women, want a needy, desperate person unless they are very, very damaged themselves. Okay, so we're trying to get to a place where we're all secure, where we're all moving through life with confidence, and where we're getting into relationships not because we desperately need some human contact, but because we actually find someone who meshes with us and improves our lives. You know, I think a lot of people get into relationships and just settle because they're like, God, please give me some human interaction. But going back to the paradox, it's like if you don't act like you're desperate, that shit will actually flow to you and come to you. And I've always been a proponent of fake it till you make it. I would get that tattooed on my body if I were to get any kind of quote tattooed on my body, because it has been amazing in my life, from being a model and knowing my worth in the industry up until now and figuring out my anxious attachment stuff. It's always like, just, hey, calm down, fake it till you make it. Don't make any decisions when you're overstimulated, and chill. So the next time you feel like you want to say sorry for something when no one has said anything is wrong and you're super anxious about it, just don't. Just don't. Write it down in a notepad. Write it to a friend. Write it to yourself. Don't send it. Hope this helps, guys, and I hope you are as excited as I am to get little Evie back. What you got on your foot? You want to wake up and say hi to them? I guess she doesn't. Let's let her sleep. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully we will get all of those out and about vlogs to you, and yeah, we're gonna make more fun, passionate content, because I'm back, baby. Bye, guys.